All right, so you remember this patient that I placed 4 implants on the mandible before? Remember, her mandible is really, really short. And so today, I've already done all the wax tryons and all these things and impressions. And today what we're doing is a bar tryon. All right, so this is what the patient's mandible looked like. You guys remember it was real short. Drilling through this bone was like drilling through concrete. I think I wasted my drills. After finishing that case, I had to throw them away. So this is what the implants look like. I think it was just like a couple months later after placing the implants. There's a little bit of bone loss at one of the implants, but it was kind of stabilized. Initially, the flap kind of opened up on me, but I got it to close up, and it's turning out pretty good. All right, so this is my tryon. It's on a little titanium frame. This is basically the wax tryon from my wax tryon appointment. This is just on the titanium frame that's attached to the 4 implants. You can see my AP spread is sort of compromised. It was a really atrophic ridge, so it's really resorbed ridge, and so it's a little longer cantilever right there. But she's a little old lady, and she's opposing a conventional denture, so I think it's going to be just fine to have a little bit longer of a cantilever. Here I'm just screwing in the prosthesis. I'm doing an upper denture for her as well. All right, so she's just looking at the teeth, assessing the, how much teeth she shows, and she likes it. But I'm having a hard time with these screws in the back, so I'm popping this guy off. It's not seating all the way down. There's a little bit of wax on it, so I clean off the wax first. I thought maybe that was holding it up, and I try to put it back through that little cylinder, but it's still not going through. So I'm screwing it down. And it's not popping out the bottom side of that cylinder. So I'm not really sure what it is at this point. I just keep trying to get it through. I tried on the model, and on the model it goes in, but it kind of binds, right? So it doesn't feel like it belongs to that implant system. And so now I'm just checking out one of the front screws, because the front screws go down. So 2 of these screws are going down, and 2 of these screws are not going down. So usually to back out one of these screws, I have to push from one end and then unscrew from the other end. So you saw my assistant pushing there. And now I'm just kind of comparing these 2 screws, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the implants right now to put the prosthesis on the implants, and just put 2 screws on, and then I'm going to go ahead and get a pano, because the pano is going to show me how well this prosthesis is seated across all the implants. So there I can see, I'm just looking at the interfaces of the implants, the bar to abutment interface, and make sure everything's nicely seated. And you can tell right there that that it's really nicely approximated. There's no gaps at all. It's super passive. One way that I learned in my residency how to assess passiveness is the 1 screw test. So you put 1 screw into the framework, screw it down, then check all the sites, make sure everything's all sealed up and no gaps, and take a pano. If the pano looks completely sealed at every site, then you're pretty good. In this pano, I put 2 screws. So kind of cheated a little bit, but I was able to see the connections intraorally, so I was able to actually directly see every single connection. So I'm not worried about it. I feel like this framework is very passive, and it's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, so while my patient was taking a pano, I was trying to figure out why these 2 screws wouldn't go down, and I finally figured it out. I compared the ones that did go down on the right and the ones that did not go down on the left, and they're different screws. So I only sent my lab the case with 2 screws, and they tried to find a replacement for the rest of the 2 sites, and they gave me the one that you see on the left, which is a totally different screw. And that's one of the problems with these multi-unit screws. They're almost indistinguishable unless you look really carefully. And I looked at this one carefully, and this is why it didn't go down. This screw is too wide, and you can see it's got a little different design on it. So I just threw those away. That's the best thing to do with these kinds of screws. Just throw them away so they don't mix you up. All right, so in this case, I had to kind of think on my feet a little bit. It's very these kind of little complications are very common, and so you gotta understand why something's not working and what might be the cause of it. This time it was just a simple case of it being the wrong screw, so it's a really, really easy fix. But these are all the little things you got to kind of pick up on with these big treatments, and knowing the little details and being really explicit with your lab so that they can get you the parts that you need. But anyway, the tryon went really well. Everything was really well seated, as you guys saw in the videos. And next time will be the delivery. So all that happens now is the acrylic gets processed around the titanium bar, and then I'm ready to deliver.